Really? In 3 weeks? Well, shit, I gotta say something. Hello, new subscribers. Yes, I have a voice. It's very new for me. So I just gained 1,000 subscribers in like 3 weeks. And, ooh, okay, you're probably here because of that Sanders Sides video I made. And if you are, then hi! I'm making this video because I want to let all the new people know that I'm not primarily a Sanders Sides artist.
Yeah, no shit, you fucking furry.
While I do have other Sanders Sides videos in mind, I will more likely work on videos about my characters. And since I'm ridiculously slow on making videos for them, I will make this an OC introduction video so all those new fanders will be able to enjoy my other content. So this is Cass. They are the main character of the story. They're non-binary and use either he, him, or they, them pronouns. He was raised by Melody and Silas in the town named Vorpalis. Everyone knows he wasn't born there, but he tries not to let it bother him. They try to be friends with everyone, but they're also really sheltered and shy. Cass is also something called a Spectra. In this world, a Spectra is a kind of semi-immortal being capable of stronger powers than the rest of society. And most people have mixed opinions on Spectras. This is Axel. He's Cass's boyfriend, and he's also a trans guy. He lives in a different town called Sparkstar, which is another town that Silas has control over. Since he's not a Spectra, he has minimal fire powers, like shooting small fireballs. He's a rebellious hothead type, and it gets Cass to come out of his shell. His rebellious nature gets him in trouble more often than it's worth, but he has Cass to rein him in sometimes. This is Farron. She's Cass's best friend, and she's also a trans girl. She is also a rebellious type, but not as reckless as Axel. She's very in tune with her emotions and often helps Cass with his own anxieties about not belonging. She lives in Vorpalis, but she was not born there, and no one knows or will tell her where she came from, but that doesn't bother her too much. She used to have wings made out of flower petals, but they were ripped and clipped when she was a child, and she can't remember who did it. She wants to learn how to battle train, but Silas won't allow it, so she secretly battle trains with Arya. Oh, this guy. Oh boy. This is Silas. He's the leader of Vorpalis, and also has control over Sparkstar and Toxibrook, the other two towns in the area. There was a third town, Gemsturl, but it disappeared a decade ago. He rules over Vorpalis with his wife, Melody, and his friend, Archer. He has many supporters, mostly due to his charisma and promises of glory, most of which he delivers. He has a mixed relationship with his kids, Arya and Cass, often not paying attention to Arya while trying to keep Cass as a shy and sheltered child. He's usually the one in control of everything in his life, as well as being above almost everyone. However, when things don't go how he planned, it becomes very easy for him to lash out.
He's the fucking villain!
So those were all of the important characters, or main characters, and now we're going on to the side characters. Arya is Melody and Silas's daughter. She finds herself often trying to impress Silas, and failing, much to her dismay. She has mixed feelings on her mother, who tries to convince her not to try so hard for her father's approval. She tries to be a good sister for Cass, but sometimes lets her jealousy get the better of her. Her favorite people tend to be Pastoria and Archer, her girlfriend and older brother figure respectively. They're the only people who seem to listen to her and understand what she's saying, especially Archer. Pastoria is Arya's girlfriend, and also the Vorpalis doctor. She's very kind and understanding, always open to hearing others' troubles. She's also one hell of a doctor, one of the best the town has ever seen. However, everyone knows that she was born in Toxibrook, then later raised in Vorpalis, which hurts her otherwise high status. Unfortunately, Cass sees Pastoria more as a sister than Arya. Varsha is a strange one. Her mother is one of Silas's supporters, and influences her daughter the same. While growing up, everyone thought Varsha was the most adorable little girl. Farron and her were close friends back then, too. Silas noticed her popularity and decided to have Cass and Varsha become close friends. Varsha was thrilled and cut off her other friendships, including Farron. Through influences from her mother and Silas, she grew attached to Cass. Archer and Farron attempt to change her behavior once Cass begins dating Axel. Melody is essentially everyone's mom. Her father was the leader before, and she chose Silas to lead with her after his death. She's lived a long time along Silas and knows about what he's done to achieve his goals. Both Melody and Silas have their passionate supporters and equal power. She wishes to get rid of him, but believes that a civil war would break out if they split. So instead, she bides her time caring for others until Silas slips up and his followers turn against him. She genuinely wants the best for her children especially, and tries to keep them from Silas's schemes. Archer is the only other known Spectra in the area, and he lives in Vorpalis as Silas's second-in-command. Almost everyone fears Archer to some degree. He's distant and off-putting to be around. Despite his grim nature, Silas would often stick him in the position of daycare, much to Silas's own amusement. Because of this, Archer is somewhat protective over most of the kids when it comes to Silas. He particularly tries to spend time around Arya or Varsha, attempting to help them. He's especially protective over Cass, despite not being as affectionate towards him. Not much is known about these three. Some people in Vorpalis know their names, but don't recall much else. Silas prevents most people from talking in great detail about them. People only know that Silas had a sister named Vital, a friend named Lawrence, and a Spectra named Fletcher. And everyone knows they all betrayed Vorpalis. And that's all of the major characters in the story. There are other small roles, but they'll get introduced in time. I hope you enjoyed this little introduction video. Bye!